I believe say wati arehosem esi ewo India. A plane crash killing 241 passengers out of 242. Wati a nyabotreni breaking down this story further for you. Until yen so I saw share video way to the very last end. Now, share video on YouTube imo akwaba ediba Vimbas TV. So na unya subscribe here, but more than say ube subscribe. We share video so on TikTok. But one more thing, say ubehwe full video to the very last end. On the 12th of June, Air India, a flight back, a 2-year from India heading towards London. Just 30 seconds after takeoff, plane way a crash into a doctor's residential hostel, a building not far from the airport. Now, local casualties, for properties, a fee, a cars, ebinom prior esi. Now, on this particular plane, and some for 241 in the woo year instantly. Only one person and a survive here. Now, nipa cross survive here, no, your friend Vish Washkuma Ramesh or your British citizen. That's how the better story way so. Moment share momenta or survive this plane crash. Yaba, you better one so.
क्या भैया बता पैसेंजर अंदर से
So out of that was moment this British citizen surviving this plane crash ewo India. Now this plane crash no yatuni din say Ahmedabad Dreamliner crash specifically within Western India. Now the flight I2 AI171 just a plane type and so a Boeing 7878 Dreamliner. Boeing a company they do jets, plane and co. It's one of their planes under Air India. And I just say a car crash here same way about. Now maybe say which citizens were aboard? Were there any Ghanaians? Were there any Burkinabes? Were there any Niger? Any African country person? Na or so and out of the 241 people who died, 169 Indians. And I just say now flight way so 53 British citizens. And so now 7 Portuguese. And so now flight. And so any one Canadian and get this crasher famu ewu. Out of the people who died, adofo arehosem a shocking a lot of people a she image on the screen. Papa bi Nigeria ene ne mba bako miensa chese 5 families and say ashe. Your friend papa no Patrick Joshi. According to sources, or papa bi a bre London or tech engineer just ye juma for 6 years and counting. Now was saving enough say or relocating the family from India to London. They are far the family no. And I just said this accident is almost 241 passengers. I say I know. Say question I will trim and they say how did this accident happen? Was it the fault of the pilot? Pilot me no so far confirm me say na flight this so image and so and and I say if we plane 2 year maybe technical, mechanical or whatsoever problem. And as we speak to you now, investigation is ongoing and they are yet to conclude. Say we and a cause accident no and now we and a cause accident. So in case you are seeing or hearing say accident plane crash be India, this is just the breakdown of the story. Now, do you know what has blown the minds of a lot of people? Somewhere last year, about a year, answer a plane crash with ABC. No? One worker of the Boeing company blow whistle, just say, be profile be out there. Say manufacturers of Boeing plane, whether jet or aeroplanes, no, enye plane ye problems be wo, they skip a lot of safety precautions and measures. Nti no, omo fa this plane, no, they should be very careful because potentially accident ebetimi esi. Now, do you know what happened to this guy? He was killed. Just say yekum no. Na ono ankasa predict say ombekum no. Na omakase wa committee suicide. So Emra News eba and it was reported say wa committee suicide. Now so according to ono ankasa ne best friend, just oka chere say this company will eliminate him. Now I'm shocking Grofo because one of their products, the Boeing 787-8 Dreamliner, a firm a crash here. So people are now connecting the dots. So Adolfo Arahusema is Western India in 241 people. What do you have to say? Answer Nebeko. Moment whistleblower. I have a friend of Sam Salepo, a blue whistle last year, say possibly plane crash ABC from the Boeing aircraft binum so Vimbas TV so
I have analyzed Boeing's own data to conclude that the company is taking manufacturing shortcuts on the 787 program that may significantly reduce the airplane safety and the life cycle. Since 2013, there have been serious issues on the 787 program, not properly closing thousands of gaps in its assembly of the fuselage on major joints. Boeing's standard says that these gaps must be closed, usually by a small shim or filler called the shim when they exceed 5 thousandths of an inch. This seems very small. Boeing's PR team like to call it the width of a human hair when you are operating at 35,000 feet. Details are that the size of a human hair can be a matter of a life and death. In a rush to address its bottlenecks in production, Boeing hit problems pushing pieces together with excessive force to make them appear that the gaps don't exist, even though they exist. The gap didn't actually go away, and this may result in premature fatigue failure. Effectively, they are putting out defective airplanes. I repeatedly produced reports for my supervisors and Boeing management demonstrating that the gaps in the 787 not being properly measured or shimmed in two major joints of the 787. Evaluating from the 29 inspected airplane data, I found gaps exceeding the specification that were not properly addressed 98.7% of the time. I want to repeat that. 98.7% of the time, the gaps that they were supposed to be shimmed, they were not shimmed. The other issue that I found, when you have these gaps and you drill through them, you get some debris in the stack-ups. This is known to be a problem, not a good thing for the airplanes by Boeing. But Boeing data also, from the inspection of the data, shows that the debris ended up in the gaps 80% of the time. Again, you have debris in the gaps 80% of the time. I want to make clear that I have raised these issues over 3 years. I was ignored. I was told not to create delays. I was told, frankly, to shut up. At one point, Boeing management got sick of me and raising these issues and moved me out of the 787 program into the 777 program. On the 777 program, I found problems. Again, I found that Boeing started a new process to build the airplane without taking into the consideration of the design of the airplane and how the airplane was designed. As a result, I witnessed severe misalignment when the planes were assembled. Boeing manufacturing used unmeasured and unlimited amount of force to correct the misalignment. And this also weakens the airplane in the long run. I literally saw people jumping on the pieces of the airplane to get them to align. I call it the Tarzan effect, among other improper methods. Again, I raised concerns internally. I was sidelined. I was told to shut up. I received physical threats. My boss said, I would have killed someone who said what you said in a meeting. And then this is not a safety culture when you get threatened by bringing issues of safety concerns. I hope that your work on this issue signals to Boeing that they must make real changes and get back to building the airplane safely.
Vimbaz TV.